Let's go TommyKay versus SingSing. Human Mirror starting off on Autumn Leaves.
Good.
And you got Grubby and Guzu casting.
For the record, it was officially your fault. But it's not your fault, but it was on your end. I mean, I'm not blaming you for it.
Okay, I'll take the blame for that. Hold on, I'm trying to open up your stream here.
Yep, I'm streaming it to you.
So, have we got a prediction? I'll set one up if not. Who do you think is going to win? SingSing and Tommy, both very strong human players. Tommy likes his deniers. SingSing likes his regimented sort of play style. So I think if Tommy can get up in SingSing's face and knock him off his pedestal a little bit, then he could have a really good chance here of taking control of the game.
Whenever there's technical difficulties, so I do apologize about that, guys. I'm not sure what caused it, but we have SingSing here starting off, obviously. He's building an altar early, as you would normally do, the double farm as well. We are going to be seeing either, I guess, Archmage or a Mountain King. Not very often you see a Paladin coming out first, unless you go Whooped and Woody, obviously. We've got an Archmage coming from Tommy, and then from SingSing, what do we got coming from him down there? Another Archmage, so it's essentially a full-on mirror. Who will be the better Archmage? Will it be SingSing or will it be Tommy here, Grubby?
Yeah, that's and it's hard to distinguish yourself in a mirror matchup because you've got the same pieces, and unlike in chess where you're like, okay, you know, white has a little advantage because they get to move first. It's in real time, same pieces, real time. How do you get an edge? If you move across the map to attack them, you probably have 1 unit fewer. So you got to think about these things, and it's tough. Let's see what both of their philosophies are, Guzu, to get out ahead. Are they going to expand? Are they going to get really aggressive? Or are they going to power creep? Or fast tech? 4 options.
So something that's very interesting to see.
You don't think Archmage can get level 3 on this map? Typically, I think you can. You start with the shop, and then you come over and do the ogre, and you can have militia also do the green. I think it's shop, ogre, green, or shop, ogre, green. Those 3. The shop's the hardest one to sort of get to, so if you do it first, as you can see, it looks like Tommy's doing that. Then that will get you to level 3.
For. I believe if SingSing
likes to expand that
and can get the dividends off later on, it might be a good investment. But we have a lot more frontal damage coming from Tommy because he's not investing a lot of gold into that expansion.
Exactly. He's sending his militia home, which means
Foosh boy is Tommy.
Looks like TommyKay will be playing kind of a playstyle where
the guy
he gets
on the right.
a fast level 3 Archmage.
So the top is the yellow guy on the right.
He doesn't have any
the bottom is the blue
yet, so he doesn't know where to go.
Guy on the left.
Probably won't be able to beeline straight to the corner expansion. Maybe he's just going to go to the main base for SingSing, which does look very exposed. That's probably going to be a point of attack. Whereas, like you said, for SingSing, he's throwing down his expansion. Let the record know that this expo started at 3 minutes and 11 seconds. That is very...
So you don't even need to do this orange gold mine here, I think. Because what is he? He's level 2.4? So, yeah, I think it's the militia that do this, actually. I don't think... He can be there with them. But in theory, if you actually took enough militia, you could do this without losing anything. But he might still want the item.
He's moving up towards the map a little bit.
I can't remember how good the item is. It might be trash.
Maybe he knows it. Maybe he thinks, oh, there's going to be an expansion up towards here.
It's
so he's
slow, yeah.
Up towards the map. Something
still,
that's very smart is to constantly be moving around, especially in Warcraft 3.
Ring of superiority. It's pretty trash.
A lot of map awareness, and you need to know.
You don't even need to stick around for that, I don't think.
They don't have any knowledge.
So here, for example, you could be level 3 and already at your opponent's expansion, or at your opponent's base. This is really smart move from Tommy, like actually moving through here, because I guess he knows that SingSing likes to take an expand, so he's heading straight towards this expand point rather than what you would probably normally do, which is go straight to the main base.
Which it is, Grubby.
Expansion just finished, so there's no cancel chance anymore. What's really working for Tommy here is that he has a perfectly crafted creep route to get fast level 3. That means Arcane Tower level
really
2.
Big.
He shows up here, and now it will be up to SingSing to try and kill 2
Arcane Tower really needs to hit that Archmage, but it's not. So there could be another Water Elemental soon.
10 XP away.
Oh, there we go.
If this Water Elemental XP goes to SingSing, he can also summon higher level water elementals here as well. Meanwhile, TommyKay is getting completely drained by SingSing as the Arcane Tower is removed all of the mana. TommyKay pulls back, doesn't really have a lot to show for. I don't think he killed a whole lot. Maybe like 1 or 2 peasants, a footman or 2.
Yeah, Grubby, I'm not sure if I agree with this approach here from Tommy, because he essentially drained all his mana. He may have that Brilliance aura, but he won't be able to put down any water
level
elementals.
3 now
The arcane tower damage. There's a level 3 from SingSing getting out that water elemental in response to Tommy's as well here. So we got water elemental against water elemental, but a drained arcane mage from Tommy's side, which
Tommy's definitely going to have to back off here, and now he doesn't have the expansion.
Right now for SingSing, he has the expansion going.
That was a good start, but he really needed to actually go for the peasants as hard as possible during that, because if you kill the economy, then that's all those peasants that need to be rebuilt. And he needed to not let his Archmage get touched by that Arcane Tower until he got that third Water Elemental out. He had about 85 mana when he started that, so he needed to somehow chip in and stay back a little bit whilst getting some right clicks as best as he could. Not ideal, but it is what it is.
Assume is a lot smaller than SingSing's currently. The militia is coming down, maybe in a last-ditch effort to be the aggressor here, Grubby. I'm not sure what Tommy should do here.
Whatever he's not doing right now, this is he has gone to tier 2, but he's not using it. Not making a second hero, not getting an altar hero, not getting a tavern hero, and then not even making an arcane sanctum. The way that one base human actually counters a 2-base human is to make use of the tech advantage that you've built up by making priests to dispel the water elementals, sorceresses to control and kill footmen. But TommyKay, he went to tier 2 and he's playing as if he's on tier 1 with the Sun Glitters double barracks mass footman. There's something seriously wrong with his strategy.
Yeah, I don't know what to say here, guys. He's also going for a push with a tower, which is really odd because he's pulling down all his militia. He's making a double barracks. He's not getting a lot of lumber, so he's essentially going for an all-in footman strat. But this footman rush, as you would call it, shout out to Sun Glitters for that one, by the way, is not really working this late into the match here because SingSing is able to defend his base, and he's also taking at the same time. So essentially, he's winning on every single front here. Tommy's trying to do an assault, but he's not really assaulting anything. I think the biggest mistake he made there was getting his Archmage drained from the Arcane Tower, and now that's just paying dividends for SingSing.
Yeah, Tommy, exactly. When an Arcane Tower burns you, you should...
I don't think he can... Yeah, he's going to go GG. Okay.
The hot stove, and you forgot that it was hot. It should be a reactive recoil, but that wasn't the case. It's going to be a GHG from TommyKay. That's 1-0 to SingSing. SingSing so far... Guzu is tearing through the lower bracket. 3 straight wins.
Yeah, SingSing is absolutely demolishing that. I will say I don't really agree with the early with the early going for the shop from Tommy. I think that was a big mistake because it was quite obvious that SingSing was going to go for the expansion. I think, Grubby, it would have been smart if either went for the scout or went for an expansion himself. What do you think Tommy should be doing differently in the second matchup to perhaps take a...
I disagree with that. I think that was fine. By the time he gets down to the expansion, most of it would have been crept, and then it'd still be level 1 versus level 2 Archmage with Brilliance. Or I think what he did was fine, but it didn't quite execute his attack as efficiently as he could do at the expansion, and normally he would go to the main base. So it is a bit weird.
Never seen from a replay VOD or any coach ever taught him. TommyKay got coached by Xlord, a former top pro player that has won against Koreans and Chinese players, and actually super legit player. Not like a major title to his name, but very, very good. He got coaching from Xlord and from me. No one would ever recommend for him to go to tier 2 and then not to use it. He needs to build double Arcane Sanctum and start controlling space with sorceresses and priests. If you're not willing to do that, you might as well stay tier 1 and make double Rax Footman early and try to make it work in the first 5 minutes without the needless investment on a tier 2.
Yeah, I think a lot of the great strengths that the human has is that they can have a big... They can vary their army in many, many different ways. And especially with the Arcane Brilliance from the Archmage, you can utilize that super well together with the Sorceresses and also the Priests. So I would like to see him kind of respond maybe to the expansion, or maybe at least advance his army a little bit more, because if you want to go for that footman rush or the double barracks, you gotta go for it early and you gotta commit. Something that's very important in Warcraft 3 is to go into the game with a strategy. If that strategy fails, you gotta adapt, and I want to see Tommy adapt a little bit better this second match.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if he can do that. He's a momentum-based player. It feels like TommyKay is either always running downhill or uphill. I don't think we ever see him walking level. He's that kind of temperamental, mood-influenced player. And the 0-1 here might spell defeat to his psyche for the rest of the series. But we will see. It is up to him. It's his destiny to try and turn this around. If he can make a switch in his strategy and mindset, he might be able to do it. But so far, SingSing looked dominant. He looks relaxed. He is smiling and laughing. We do need to get him into the lobby. It might be that he's in the coach corner a little bit. Unlike the first Invitational, TommyKay, more and more players have been getting their hot live coaching. Not during the game, to be clear, but in between games, getting like a little bit of a refresher.
It's like a boxing
players
match.
have been trying to get that extra info and analytics from their coach mid-series.
Yeah. It's a great thing to do between the game. If you're frustrated, if you don't know what to do, you can go talk to your coach a little bit, get refreshed, get a fresh mindset. Because a lot of people, especially if it's a new player you're playing against, they have a tendency to be a little bit nervous and stressed out, and you get the loss out of the way, and then you bounce back and you pop off. And let's hope that Tommy can pop off here so we can get a good match on our hands here. Also, I think you should just keep just share the screen with me, and we'll just do it like before. I don't want to delay the tournament for the players as well, so we'll do it like that.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Yeah, makes sense. I was figuring you're on the commentary. You probably didn't do the restarts, and it might just be easiest to continue it like that. Good call. Let's do it that way.
Yep. Yeah, let's not delay any tournament stuff,
Don't
especially
be bad,
for the players. I want to make sure that they're
playing
ready
4
to go.
versus 4 RT. Just say that. Don't be bad.
Very considerate of you. Looks like they are ready, so we're going to be jumping into it. Second map, it's going to be Tidehunters. Momentarily, when I have my Warcraft open, I'll be sharing the screen with you. Let's go to game number 2. SingSing versus TommyKay. This is a best of 3. They fell to the lower bracket via best of 5. But the lower bracket in the first 2 rounds are a best of 3. This is the second round.
It's pretty easy to expand here as well, but this map
Viper yesterday.
is just a little bit shorter than the other one, I think. Not by much.
People predicted that, as Viper basically, as the David, beat someone with 370 MMR more than himself.
Yes, just waiting for the thing to pop up here as well.
There it is.
There it is. Nice. Okay, I am with you
there
now.
It is.
Yeah, okay. So we got obviously SingSing now on the upper half of the map, and then Tommy on the bottom half. So they swapped positions a little bit to get a different perspective here, I suppose. But they're both going for a very similar strat. Again, obviously, we're not seeing any blacksmith early, which I, as a Pala rifle enjoyer, am quite sad about. But maybe the viewers are glad about here. Do you think we're going to be seeing another double Archmage, or do you think there's going to be a little Mountain King action going here, Grubby?
I could see TommyKay go for a Mountain King, kind of try to change the game flow. He would maybe do like Mountain King 1 base. Let's see if that's going to be true. Nope, he's going to match Archmages once again.
Yeah, so obviously we're going for a double Archmage again. Very interested to see if they're both going to go for an expansion, or they're going to be doing a little bit more scouting towards the enemy base before going all in. Also, to keep in mind, the Archmage has a massive power spike at level 3. So if you're able to get that level 3 power spike with the Elemental, it's essentially like you have a bonus, like, tier 3 mob. It is absolutely ridiculous, and it has a huge advantage if you can get that level 3 fast here. So obviously, we're probably going to be looking at a Militia pullout very soon. We got both Footmen from the top and the bottom as well. They're going to meet in the middle, maybe have a little handshake, but we're looking at the laboratory.
I think your concern, Rojtar, might be that Guzu seems like he tries a bit too hard. I think that's the element. I think you need to be a little bit more relaxed. Everyone has their own style, but if you try too hard, it comes across as like, yeah, too try hard, too cringy sort of thing. Oh, look at the Footman coming in there with the interrupt. I can't tell if that's going to benefit him or not. Probably not. So, yeah. We got ourselves, let's see, so the blue is, because I don't have the same thing, it should be Tommy. So Tommy's starting off with this. Yeah, of course, if you just look at the mini-map, you should know which one SingSing is, because it's the guy that's going straight to his expansion. This is a bigger creep camp with a much better item, though. So, is it a greater mana? Oh my god, that's the worst item he could have got.
He gets the agility boots. See, if we were playing a Blade Master here on Orc, it would be a very, very great day. But on the Archmage, only it really gives is 1.8 armor, which is good, but not compared to the intellect or the drum.
12% attack speed, 1.8 armor. It's not that bad. Oh, I guess there is one worse. Ruined Bracers would be worse. This is the second worst.
Yeah, so obviously we're looking at a very different approach here from both players again. It does look like Tommy, he really appreciates and likes that early XP in the Archmage.
It's a good start for SingSing.
Him
Let's
going
say that.
for the early XP in the Archmage, pulling out his militia to the top, clear that orange camp, maybe get that militia saved. Nope, -1.
If there's a pulverize,
get that militia saved, and there's gonna be a -2
there's
maybe
no
as well if he doesn't pay attention. He's moving in
okay.
towards the middle of the map.
He could have lost
Another
more there
militia
as well.
goes
There's a
down, maybe a
pulverize.
third even as well. He's losing a lot of those militia. He's
the
actually
giant can do
also moving
pulverize.
into SingSing's base
He's gonna lose all
with
of
his
these.
whole army as well, Grubby.
Yikes, -3 militia. This was supposed
gonna
to
lose
be a
more.
happy occasion. -4 militia! The problem is he didn't pull enough and too many of his peasants were hurt. You're supposed to take all the high health peasants. You're supposed to...
Look at that troll.
You're supposed to swap out your gold and lumber peasants. Anyway, TommyKay, he got a kill. The good thing is, SingSing doesn't know how many peasants were lost. That TommyKay lost 4 peasants to creep. Who could ever guess that? And now you've got this big push.
This is honestly where Tommy really needs to not lose those
for
footmen.
TommyKay than the
Needs to
previous
deny
game
them or
where
pull them back
SingSing
earlier.
had the
That's a good
Arcane
deny.
Tower, tagging
Because as soon as
However,
SingSing gets
there
level
are
3,
militia
it's going to
here
get a lot
helping.
harder
It's
for
the
him.
defender's advantage.
So you
And
just
this
got
is
to
how
stop him
SingSing
getting
is able
level
to hurt
3.
footmen quite a bit.
Yes, and we also see an Arcane Tower up at the expansion over as well, with the Town Hall being built too, which will
That's
be starting,
pretty good for
starting
Tommy
to pay
now.
dividends after a few minutes.
Despite, you know, the base
we
stuff.
see, if we look at the objective things right now,
Oh,
TommyKay
yeah,
has no
lumber.
expansion yet. He lost 4 militia. SingSing has an army. He has an expansion. If he can survive this attack here,
This is
from Tommy,
going
he's
much
looking
better
very
for Tommy,
good here. We
but
see a
just don't lose
constant,
those See, that footman should already be running back now.
swoop, coming down with the footmen from Tommy here. So he's
It's
essentially
2.8.
going for an all-in strat again, Grubby.
Guzu, SingSing ran out of lumber because he used all of his lumber peasants, and therefore he stopped mining for a bit. He stopped mass producing the town hall for a bit, which cost him
That
time.
water
and
elemental
now
might
he's
get into
actually
level 3.
APM deficit, not mining
There it
for
is.
the expansion that he invested so much into. So TommyKay is doing massive damage. This is a
I think the
far
damage
cry
is
from
being
the
done though,
previous
yeah.
game. You've got 4 peasants in gold in the main, almost no lumber income.
Tommy
30
has
lumber,
487
100
gold
for
though, so I'm not
SingSing.
sure if he's
It's
quite
only just starting to
macroing
mine.
all those
You've got
footmen
tier
in as
2,
quickly as they could
80%
be.
of the way done. Now, let's fast forward a bit, 30 seconds into the future. If TommyKay makes an Arcane Sanctum with priests and a Mountain King, or even a Blood Mage with Flame Strike, I think he's going to be in a fantastic position. But if he does something weird again, where he makes some kind of random barracks, sends militia to tower
That's
a
the sort of
human
thing I
that
would
cannot be
do.
towered because they have militia, well then it's not going to be very good for him. But so far Tommy is doing fantastic.
Yeah, and this is why Fog of War is so important, Grubby, because you're able to scout your enemies and see what they're doing, and then you can react accordingly. So SingSing isn't aware that the mistakes that Tommy made, so he thinks he's very healthy, he thinks he's got this whole army, and that is the ruse that he's playing into here. What Tommy doesn't know either, though, is that there is an expansion, because he hasn't sent a scout up to his natural
pretty much
expansion
assume there
in
is
the
one.
north. So we have a little bit of a
Panda.
situation where both players
Hey,
don't
Dada.
know, but there's a
Oh.
panda coming out here. The panda is a very interesting
Actually,
hero. Maybe
a funny thing here you could do is actually just focus the farms down. You right-click the right farm. It's a bit unorthodox, but the panda's got several Breath of Fires. He could Breath of Fire from there, hit all 3 farms. And if you cap your opponent from being able to build any units at this point, when you've already got them sort of by the balls, that would be pretty devastating.
Get a lot of XP. He needs to anti-block his panda though. This is a big blunder with the Pandaren Brewmaster. He does get...
That was a complete
He
waste
cancelled his
there.
own Fire Breath animation, so he just ran in, did 1 Fire Breath and died. Whereas in theory, he shouldn't have committed so hard. Walk out, get the full 3 to 4 Fire Breaths. Now, is it easy to replace? Yes. But was that a full overcommit blunder? Absolutely yes as well. SingSing has his lumber economy working. He did build out his peasants at the expansion. In fact, SingSing is going to get so much wood that he wouldn't know what to do with it. That's how many peasants he's making to overcompensate for the beginning. TommyKay also rehired his panda from the tavern, which I think is extremely not worth it. He's not using his Arcane Sanctum out of a failure of macro. He just makes footmen over and over and over. This should be priests. TommyKay has all the pieces he needs to win. He's in such an incredibly fantastic position, but he's fumbling it a bit.
Yeah, he is fumbling a bit here, and Tommy is realizing now that, oh gosh, there is actually an expansion up here. He's bringing up some footmen, and he also has his Pandaren Brewmaster, but the Pandaren Brewmaster is only level 1, and it doesn't really have a lot of effect early on here, so SingSing is actually looking very favorable. I think that all-in from Tommy was not smart, and when he brought in that Pandaren, he really just sent all his resources into this assault here, but SingSing knows what to do. He failed to save that Arcane Tower, but I don't think it matters too much here, because that Panda is looking very unhealthy here. There's a ton of support elementals, 2 each actually here. If that scout tower goes down, which it does, actually he might be able to do a little bit of damage because you cannot bring militia in from an expansion, Grubby.
Oh yeah, at least
Is
he got
he
breath of
using the
fire there.
Sanctum yet? That's the big question. No, TommyKay is going full Ooga Booga. He's got 4 Fitment in production. He's not using Sanctum. Oh my god, he's actually in a...
Yep.
He just pulled an Idra. TommyKay, even so, is still in a winning position. He has level 4 Archmage, and he has Panda level 1. He had access to Priests.
If you ever want to go see like some funny tournaments and stuff like that, I don't know how easy it is to track them all down now. But back in the day when, you know, esports was pretty relatively new and fresh, and this is roughly when StarCraft 2 came out. It came out at a really good time for this. It's when people start to stream, etc. And Twitch got a lot bigger, or rather, yeah, Justin TV or whatever it was at the time, but then moved into Twitch. Yeah, I used to love watching the games with Idra, because he was just so angry all the time, and he'd often insult his opponent and stuff like that. It was way more interesting to watch him, even though he wasn't necessarily the best player. You just wanted to see him sort of win or get really angry. So it was fun. But yeah, SingSing moves through with some fast expand against human, which really shouldn't be that safe. But I think because Tommy throws a little bit, he gets a bit too aggressive for his own good. He allows his opponent, SingSing, to relatively calmly deal with the situation in the grand scheme. So there it is.
Let's see. I don't know if he's going to... Hey, Tommy, GG. Unfortunate.